Greetings, everyone. This is Say with the Star of Death 99, aka the Black Cobra. And I'm back with some more of Phoenix Wright, Dual Destinies. Now, time for a little recap after what happened due to what happened yesterday. First thing, we actually found out that the victim was actually trying to help the suspect down the ladder after that explosion. After the explosion actually knocked out the power. What we also found out is that we actually found out that the victim's oxygen tank was not broken. It was actually still working at the time, as you can see here. The 50, that was actually the victim's oxygen tank, not the suspect's. What we also found out is we actually found out that at least what we suspect is that the suspect was actually drugged with sleeping pills. I should say anti-anxiety pills. That's why he was unable to remember what actually happened. We also found out that the main area that we're actually trying to head into was only accessible by the director of the Space Center. There are actually a couple of other things we also found. We found this, a 10 caliber bullet, and we also found a bullet hole inside the Space Center at the boarding lounge. Which means that it's obvious that somebody was actually trying to attack one of the officers. As for who, that is what we still don't know. If the officer actually was trying to go after the suspect, I don't think that would have happened, since the two of them already knew each other. So I don't think the suspect was actually the one who was actually the killer. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? Where we left off, we were actually outside of the Space Center. We're right near the entrance. Let's see what we have here. It's another robot. Clonco. Yeesh. Okay, I wonder who this is. Yeesh. That's pretty specific. Excuse me, but are you the one who witnessed the murder? Oh, and I am Phoenix Wright, the lead attorney for this case. How do you do? What? Or Blackquill. Related to Simon Blackquill? Researcher developer developing robots here at the Cosmo Space Center. Blackquill, could she be? Let's go for anything robot is named Hunk Junk. Conco. Yeesh. Okay. I better watch what wires I cross with this one. Anyway. Your last name is Blackwell. Do you have a relative in the legal profession? I thought so. Simon is Zora's younger brother. Yes, we met him in court a few times. Right, Athena? Did being shy? This is new. He was prosecuting again despite being a prisoner. Why doesn't he just stick to solving disputes among inmates in prison, right? Robot abuse, hawk attacks, Blackwell family life must sure be interesting. So you're the person who witnessed the incident. So on the fourth floor of the main building, the robotics lab. The explosion disabled the elevators. So I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. It was such a pain. Why couldn't they have used the ladders in the other rooms? Must have been a very troubling experience. Probably best to just humor here. Then as I passed by the third floor boarding lounge, a window on my way down. I saw the crime as it happened. So you saw the crime as it happened. That's about it, huh? Let's see. What? You saw it being committed? There's no time to just not and repeat. So you saw it into the third floor lounge. The very scene of the crime? There's a small window on the right-hand side of the room. As you can see. Doesn't look that small to me, though. room was pitch black, but I saw a shady figure holding a lighter in their left hand. He was probably using it so he could see. To see power went out. A knife in their right. That must have been the culprit. Did you see who the person was? The power was out on that floor then. And there was only that tiny window. Doesn't look like a very tiny window if you ask me. I've seen small windows. I see. Did you witness the moment of the murder? Having precisely 10 a.m. Did you witness anything else? Did the killer have any distinguishing features? It's pitch black in there, although did notice that the lighter the person had in their left hand was a pretty ornament on it. Had a pretty ornament on it. It looked like a planet. It was blue, like a little Earth emblem. They had a good taste in knickknacks, anyway. An Earth emblem on the lighter. I better remember that. Let's see. The perp held a lighter with an Earth emblem on it in their left hand and a knife in their right. Thank you for your statement. We'll definitely prove Mr. Starbucks innocent with it. Innocence. Pardon me? Instinctive dislike. That didn't make me feel any better, actually. Why do you hate lawyers so much? Both from my past. I assume she's referring to her younger brother. The whole legal system is meaningless in the first place. I disagree. I certainly don't agree there. I mean, people are imperfect. They lie, they're influenced by silly emotions. You can't expect such imperfect creatures to uphold a reasonable system of law. Whoa! What the hell? Jesus Christ! Okay. It's a good thing robot abuse isn't a crime. Yeesh. One moment, everyone. Sorry about that, everyone. Just had to fix my mic. Wires got tangled up. What? Rational thought. That's what separates humans from animals. Technically, humans are animals. Unfortunately, reasoning capabilities are more akin to that, but what? Get a hold of yourself, Athena. So she distrusts not only lawyers and prosecutors, but the entire legal system? What in the world happened to this woman to make her so bitter? And there's somebody important to me was... Whoa! I would never wish to see their killer brought to trial. What the hell is up with this? Nut job. I'd rather kill them myself. I don't think she's lying there, Athena. Around Athena's neck, does she mean widget? What? Yes, that's true. Director Cosmos. Yes, that's right. A big liar and a huge braggart. Oh, I could think of a few. I could think of somebody else who's a huge liar. I'm not gonna get into that though. What? The center has all kinds of problems, like the budget cuts. What? That's it? No friendly tips, no good luck, guys. Just splendid. Splendid, everyone. Okay. Like brother, like sister, if you ask me. I think I know the reason why. It said to me that she doesn't believe in the legal system anymore. She must have had a very bad experience to make her feel that way. You alright, Athena? You seem very down. Oh, she's really upset. Has she been trying to not let it show all this time? I guess it's not all that surprising. You hear about fabricated evidence and false indictments on the news all the time. And the whole dark age of the law nonsense. I'm so sick of hearing about that. Well, all you can do is believe in what we're doing. Maybe it's someone went back to see Mr. Starbuck. Should tell him about the bullet and Miss Blackwell's statement. Next stop, the detention center. Alright. Here we go. Hey, not necessarily. We found a new witness, Mr. Starbuck. A researcher saw the moment of the murder through the lounge window during her escape. Unfortunately, it was dark and she couldn't identify the person. But we got a lead too, Mr. Starbuck. The murderer had a lighter with an Earth emblem on it. Did you remember something? A little bit is better than nothing. Anything at all would be a help, so please tell us what you remembered. Thought I was unconscious the whole time. And now I remember I woke up for a few brief moments. It's huge. You remember seeing anything? Lighter. So the flame of a lighter floating in the darkness. Good, good. What else did you see? What was nearby? It's definitely the boarding lounge. So it must have been Clay who carried me. Must have been after Clay carried me there. In the light from the flame, I saw a dark shadow flickering. Dark shadow? That must have been the culprit. Third party we've been looking for. What the hell? I can see in the dark pretty well, but can't see his face too well. Thank you, Mr. Starbuck. You've been more help than you know. We can put this was a third party at the scene that they're the real killer. And you'll be quit of all suspicion. The key will be whether or not we can identify this third person in court tomorrow. At least we have something to go on now, and that's a big plus. I should probably tidy the evidence up a bit before someone mistakes me for a hoarder. Relevant evidence tied up. Tidy it up. Someone who is highly empathetic is surprisingly unsympathetic. I gotta check something. first statement. Let's see. Perp held a lighter with an Earth emblem on it in their left hand and a knife in their right. Well, it's one step forward anyway. Hopefully it'll give us a fighting chance in court. So once we can find out who this third person is. Apollo? What the? Apollo, what are you doing here? I didn't think the clinic was ready to release you yet. Leave the case to us. We'll take it from here. Apollo. You shouldn't underestimate your injuries, Apollo. And I don't want you overdoing it. Fine, I'm not in pain anymore. Besides, they gave me an IV at the clinic. IV isn't a cure-all, mummy man. Apollo. Anyway. You guys making progress? Suspicious figure was spotted at the scene. We think that might be the real killer. Suspicious figure, huh? Thought you'd be happier than that. Well, don't get me wrong, I'm happy. I fully intend to see Clay's murderer apprehended. Absolutely nothing will get in the way of that. Clay was your best friend, right, Apollo? That's right, best friend since junior high. It's like me and Juniper. So what was Clay like? He's full of compassion and energy, and a real loud voice. The two of you did voice training together. I bet you break a few windows. Sure see. Seems like only yesterday, Clay was a guy who lived for his dreams. Yeah, Mo said Cloud that Clouds can actually be, so can actually look like Clay. We used to talk about it a lot. He was going to be an astronaut and me a lawyer. We talked well into the night, and even then, we never grew tired of it. Apollo, about that jacket. It's Clay's. I knew it. It's a special jacket that was only issued to members of the HAT project. He's finally able to get one of his own once he resorts of the HAT-2 mission. I'm saying that 3 times fast, everyone. He always looks so proud wearing it. Just when his dream was finally coming true. Still can't believe it. Whoa! hope you don't try to carry the burden out all alone. Guess we were both unlucky. My own debut was a disaster. Guess you're right on some level. The trial a year and a half ago wasn't exactly the smoothest of starts. That was a rough time for me, but Clay refused to let me quit. You're fine, he'd say. Don't give up. I was right during his screening exams, too. I couldn't have been a full-fledged lawyer without him. That "you're fine" of his is why I'm still standing here today. You're fine, huh? You're fine and I'm fine were your catchphrases, weren't they? Sure brings back memories. When we were in junior high, Clay's mother passed away in an accident. But he wouldn't show his sadness to anyone. One night I found him crying all alone in the school courtyard. Clay, listen to me. I don't have a mother either. So it's like maybe I really will be fine. Apollo Justice is fine. Okay, Clay, now it's your turn. We're fine. What are you laughing about? See, we're fine. You say it out loud, it really starts to feel real. As long as you don't give up and keep on fighting, that's what we believed. As long as you don't give up. Wasn't there someone else who said something similar? Mr. Starbuck. Clay called Mr. Starbuck his mentor and looked up to him. What if I could be a good role model for my staff like Mr. Starbuck? You're really serious. Can you at least give me a reason why, Apollo? When I put Clay's jacket on, I swore to him that I would catch his killer myself. That's our goal, too. I agree with Athena. We should work together to find the truth. Truth, huh? That's a noble cause. What if the truth you seek and the truth I seek turn out to be different? I'm not sure I follow. What are you saying, Apollo? I'm gonna catch the person responsible for taking my friend's life in my own way. sense a lot of seething anger and hatred coming from him. And also suspicion. What the... Hold on, Athena. Apollo can believe what he wants, but I believe he's wrong. Even if we take different paths, the truth that we arrive at should be the same. I think the quicker we solve this case, the better it will be for Apollo. That's enough for one day. Make sure you're ready for tomorrow's trial, okay? If he were here right now, Apollo would say, I'm fine. Everything is fine. I just hope things really do turn out fine tomorrow. No, we're not done yet, everyone. We are not done yet. Here we go. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Solomon Starbuck.
Objection!
Your Honor, will you please come out from under your bench, please? I guess that's one way of describing what happened to Tony. Indeed. Yes. Yes, I do, Your Honor. Do you have an understanding of what has happened in the trial so far? Yes. Yes, Your Honor. The defense is ready. Well, he's certainly seen more than his fair call for prosecutors. You'd say he's something of a veteran of sorts. Let's see. In the previous part of this trial, we learned that the victim, Clayton, escaped from Launchpad 1 carrying the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. There were explosions on the second floor of the Space Center and on the rocket itself. The two astronauts used the Launchpad 1 corridor to reach the boarding lounge. How could the victim climb down the ladder if he was carrying the defendant? That was a mystery that needed to be solved. Mr. Justice proved that the victim was killed in the boarding lounge. Prosecutor Blackwell, were you able to discover any new facts related to this point? Upon further investigation, we discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the lounge. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice's argument was correct. That means the testimonies of the first two people on the scene are suspects. There were two people that claimed to be the first on the scene. But can we truly trust their statements? See, the two people were Detective Candace Army and Yuri Cosmos. Think one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yes, certainly possible. It must have something to... We might have to do a little bit more digging. And just as our team was about to cross-examine Detective Army, the courtroom bombing incident occurred, and the trial was put on hold. Yeah, some more of that, Prosecutor Blackwell. It definitely put the kibosh on anyone asking her about what she saw. Exactly. In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the boarding lounge has once again become the main focus of this trial. It's obvious Prosecutor Blackwell still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Detective Fulbright said that Blackwell has a thing against the astronaut. Nevertheless, the defense argues that there was a third person in the lounge, and that's who killed the victim.
Objection!
To make such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man or a stupid one. I disagree. I disagree. I don't buy it.
Objection!
Objection, Your Honor. We'll see who's the dotard after I trounce you with my years of experience. In any case, Mr. Starbuck claims he saw someone leaving the lounge. Furthermore, a Space Center employee also saw a suspicious figure at the scene. Yes, he did. Prosecutor Blackwell, she was running her mouth because she's a goddamn witness! That's right. Or Blackwell is Simon Blackwell's older sister. No matter, she didn't see this mystery person's face clearly. Therefore, there is no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant. I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there. In brief, we need to determine if a third person was there or not. To this end, we should hear the testimony of one of the first people on this team. Director Cosmos. Very well. Bailiff, please bring the witness to the stand. Yuri Cosmos. Director of the Cosmos Space Center. She has been named after me, Yuri Cosmos. Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging. 7 years ago, I successfully launched the HAT-1 and... That speech of Prosecutor Blackwell's just now sounded more to me like he was poking fun at Director Cosmos. It's probably for the best that it sailed right over the director's head. Now then, Director Cosmos, the condensed version of your illustrious testimony, please. What I saw at the scene. Detective Army and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and turn lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck. I disagree. Let's see. In your testimony, you claim you arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge. And just after the victim had been killed, center of danger. Yeah. Though it sounds more like he was scared and just had a peek from far away. Yes, I am, Your Honor. I am ready to cross-examine the witness. Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm gonna have to press him and draw out more information before I do anything else. I'm not buying it. We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Taryn lying on the floor. I'd say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck, Mr. Starbuck.
Hold it!
Hold it! Aura Blackwell also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge. But she gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see the figure's face clearly? I thought so. The lighter they were holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time. But other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see Taryn, but I couldn't see who the other person was. So for all you know, it might not have been Mr. Starbuck. Isn't that correct? I'd like to believe that. Starbuck isn't the type of man who's capable of murder.
Objection!
When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. Isn't that correct, Great Space Center Director? Only Starbuck and Taryn were there at the time. After we peeked in, the lounge suddenly went dark and the figure vanished. You mean they disappeared? That's odd.
Objection!
The reason the figure appeared to vanish is because it was the defendant. I don't buy it. When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned unconsciousness. I don't buy it.
Hold it!
Oh, hold it. Hold on. Director Cosmos, did you ever take your eyes off the scene? Just for a brief instant. About as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by. If you took your eyes off the scene, then the third person could have escaped during that time. What escape route could this person have taken? The direction opposite the control room, the southern door to the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would have been very possible to escape that way.
Objection!
The real question is, do you have any proof? Just talking about possibilities. We can each profess whatever we like. An inmate who used to be a university professor and a lunar researcher used to say, there's a kingdom of little green men who live under the surface of the moon. What? So those who don't punish us in the name of said moon for what they've done to it. Yes, I know that, Athena. It's not a work of fiction, either. He's right, I don't have any proof yet. Still. The southern door was a possible escape route. I better make a mental note of this. Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question? Why did you look away from the boarding lounge? Here we go. It's when Detective Army saw the figure and raised her gun. Being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her. That could explain the bullet hole. As well as the bullet itself. What? You're saying the army raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure? Imagine her instincts as a detective told her they were the killer. I don't know about that. And were you able to prevent Detective Army from firing her gun? I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly, and then she fired two. Wait a minute. There was only one shot that was fired. Fired two warning shots at the shadowy figure. There was only one shot that was fired. I'm not buying it. This information about Detective Army's actions sounds critically important, which it is. Please add it to your testimony, Detective Cosmos. There was only one shot that was fired, not two. I'm not buying it. Objection, Your Honor. Are you sure you're really paying attention to what the detective was doing? Somehow, I don't think that those exact words will ever be written down in any history books. Gladly, Your Honor. You say that Detective Army fired two warning shots, and yet only one bullet hole was ever found at the scene. Only one bullet hole means that the gun was only fired once. And yet, Detective Cosmos is saying Detective Army fired two shots. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction into a history book.
Objection!
What? Two shots were fired? Where's the other bullet then?
Objection!
Objection, Your Honor. But there was only one bullet hole at the scene, as well as only one bullet. Where'd the other bullet hole vanish to? Prosecutor Blackwell, get that goddamn bird out of here before I cook the goddamn thing and eat it. I should. During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. Yes, I know that. We've already discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge, have we not? Well, it appears that the thing that ruptured it was a bullet. A bullet that was found near the tank, to be precise. This bullet was fired from a .38. Same caliber as a detective's gun. What? The rifling marks also match up. There's no question the bullet was fired from the detective's gun. The only gun's fingerprints on the bullet. Rifling marks. Yes, Your Honor. And examining the rifling marks on a bullet can tell us the gun it was fired from. One of the bullets the detective fired found its way into the holographic image display. And the other bullet came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank. The evidence confirms that the director's statement that the detective fired 2 shots. I don't buy it. She only had one gun. That was a .38. What about this one? The 10 caliber. I'm not buying it. So the bullet hole was from a .38 caliber, huh? Now we know the fate of both of the shots the Detective Army fired. No, it does not. No, it does not, Your Honor. Two warning shots? It's only one shot. One hit the holographic display and the other hit the oxygen tank? I'm not buying it. No, it doesn't. What about the other bullet? Yeah, I'm not buying it. No, it doesn't. No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Murray fired 2 warning shots from a .38 caliber gun. But that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. A piece that points to the existence of a third person. I have no intention of doing so, Your Honor. Right here.
Take that!
Just a little something of great importance we found at the crime scene, Your Honor. In a floor gutter at the crime scene, it looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a 10 caliber bullet, making it much smaller than one of the detective's .38 calibers. Exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. A third person who had a gun that could fire a 10 caliber bullet. And if that's true, it explains why the detective fired warning shots. The third person fired at the detective and Director Cosmos with their gun. And And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos? So Detective Cosmos really has been hiding the presence of a third person all along. Director Cosmos, I want you to testify to the court about what you really saw. Director Cosmos, you will not receive special treatment here. Now please give accurate testimony. Now! The detective and I rushed to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and Taryn on the floor. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. Given that there was no third person in the lounge when the witness entered it, does that mean the third person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant? Not necessarily. Still possible that it was somebody else. Most likely, as soon as the detective and Director Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped through the southern door, the one that didn't have a security lock.
Objection!
Yes, I know that, Prosecutor Blackwell.
Objection!
Objection, Your Honor. But Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by the police. Nor has a gun been found at the crime scene. In its absence, can only be explained if there was a third party who took it with them.
Objection!
Yes, I know that, Prosecutor Blackwell. I know about the trash chute.
Objection!
Objection, Your Honor. You can't deny the possibility of a third person leaving with the weapon.
Objection!
Fine. I'll be glad to do so, Prosecutor Blackwell. Little piece of decisive evidence? What evidence? Yes, I know about that. I know about the detonator switch. It was obvious that somebody planted it inside his pocket. It's the most compelling evidence of all that tells us he is the culprit. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. That bullet that the mysterious figure shot, what did it hit exactly? What? It hit the director. What? Authentic bona fide ghost? I don't buy it. I don't buy it. What?
Objection!
Objection, Your Honor. Shame on you for teasing this nice old gentleman. Prosecutor Blackwell. Director Cosmos, how did you manage to survive being shot? Ah, okay. The bullet hit his Medal of Honor, whereby it ricocheted. Okay, that would make sense. The Medal of Honor is made of metal, of course. So it must have ricocheted and actually landed in the gutter. One extra Gaiaxa star. The odds are literally astronomical. I guess it really was a miracle. But why did you conceal this information, Director Cosmos? Gridman said to myself has to hide things on occasion, no matter how much it hurts. It is the plight of the truly great. It may be hard for this generation to understand. Oh, it does sound fishy, Athena. What else is he hiding? Let's just cross-examine him and see what we can find out. Gladly, Your Honor. I'm not buying it. He's lying.
Objection!
Objection, Your Honor. Director Cosmos, I believe you're telling this great court a glorious lie. Yes, I have, Director Cosmos. Great men telling lies? Yes, I have. Quite a few times, actually. My accusation is based on the positions of the people who were in the lounge. According to your testimony, you and Detective Arms were near the control room door, and the mystery figure was standing in the middle of the boarding lounge. If, as you say, the figure fired a gun at you from this position, then the boat would have traveled in this direction. However, we found the 10 caliber bullet here. The trajectory and where the bullet was actually found contradict each other. Director Cosmos, where were you really when you were being shot at? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human merry-go-round.
Objection!
I don't buy it, Prosecutor Blackwell. Even if it did hit it, there's no way. Even if it did ricochet, there is no way it would have landed where it did.
Objection!
Objection, Your Honor. But in that case, the bullet should have been found in the east side of the room. Are you trying to say that you can't explain this inconsistency? I didn't think so. What? Then explain it there, Prosecutor Blackwell. What? Looking into the lounge from the door to the south. What are you getting at? Bird's nest. Director Cosmos and the detective witnessed the scene from the southern door. The killer fired at them there, and that is why the bullet was found in the south. That makes some sense, actually. Also, the witness being in this at the southern door is actually favorable for the prosecution. What? Tell the truth, Director Cosmos. I thought so. That's the complete opposite of all the testimony he's given so far. Sure about that, Prosecutor Blackwell? I have. How? Near the southern door, not in it. Meaning the killer couldn't have escaped through there. The western door required print recognition. The corridor beyond was filled with smoke. Yes, I know that. The only escape route left was the southern control room door. Yes, I know that, Prosecutor Blackwell. Yes, I know that. The only way to get through there was Director Cosmos' fingerprints. Yes, I know that. No escape for any third person had there been one. No, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Director Cosmos, why did you tell such an outrageous lie? You were covering for the defendant, isn't that right? It would have meant that there could have been a third person. What a convoluted lie. Was he really covering for the defendant? I don't think so. I think not. Oh, I'm not done yet. Time to turn my thinking around. The third person had no way of escaping the scene. Then what if one of the people at the scene was this third person? Wait. What if the whole premise is all wrong? Director Cosmos said he and Detective Army rushed to the scene together. What if the premise isn't true? What if one of them reached the scene before the other one? And if that person entered the lounge, then they would be the third person. Objection, Your Honor! Wait, Your Honor. There is still one possibility. There is only one and only one person who could have escaped from the scene. That person would be the first person who arrived on the scene. Then, upon entering the boarding lounge, the second person to arrive came via the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room, using an escape route that was accessible only to them. Oh, you're going down, Director Cosmos. I saw right through your lies.
Take that!
What am I claiming? Of all the people who are at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director is the only one with the authority to open the control room door after all. Exactly. The true identity of the third person is our current witness. Director Yuri Cosmos! Gladly, Your Honor. I assert that Director Cosmos arrived at the scene before the detective did, and entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Army arrived after that and saw a suspicious figure who was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why she fired those 2 warning shots. Earth to Cosmos Control Center, requesting permission to ask that you return to reality.
Objection!
Objection, Your Honor. Well, but I do have evidence. In fact, you could say that your battleship bears its scar. If Director Cosmos is the third person, or a Black Quill saw the third person fired at Detective Army and Director Cosmos with their gun, and in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos? Looks like you deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Director Cosmos must have been the one that fired the 10 caliber gun. When the Detective Army discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense that he would turn and shoot at her. Therefore, the evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of relevance than before. Once we compare it against another piece of evidence, the mark that you receive from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you are the one there in the lounge. Gotcha. Oh, you're going down, Director Cosmos. Comparison against this piece of evidence will prove that you were the one in the lounge.
Take that!
The .38 caliber bullet found on the floor at the scene did not hit the oxygen tank. It hit Director Cosmos' metal. If we have that ricochet mark on the metal analyzed, I'm sure the caliber will match up. And if that mark proves to be from a .38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you were the third person we have been looking for. That's true. What about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank? It was the 10 caliber bullet. In other words, it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. Isn't that right, Director? Got it all wrong? I think not. Well, you're going down, Director Cosmos, and I'll be taking you down, whether it's the last thing I do or not. Witness, stop this at once and confess to the truth. Now! If you don't want the history books to say that you're a great man and was a great liar, then accept your fate and tell the damn truth. Oh, I don't think so. I thought so. Are you ready to confess to the truth, witness? A misunderstanding? I don't think so. So you're gonna start piling on more lies? Looks like it. No matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make that big liar tell the damn truth. Oh, we're not done yet, everyone. We're not done yet. We're gonna solve this case today. Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the defense. They're claiming that you were the third person. The evidence does not lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try to talk your way out of this. I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room. And then went past the elevators and all the way to the boarding lounge 1 again. I came up behind the detective army and pretended to be the second on the scene. A troublesome old man you are. Just convoluted deeds and thoughts. You're still insisting that you did not kill the victim?
Hold it!
Hold it. Hold on just one moment. We just proved a few minutes ago the third person that Mr. Starbuck and Miss Aura Blackwell saw was you. That is a good point there, Athena. Makes some sense if he told those lies to cover for Mr. Starbuck. So, lie's a lie, Athena. So Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit, but where's the proof? An alibi, you say? Miss Blackwell said she saw the killer at 10 a.m. Yes, and on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. So any member from the staff you like, they'll corroborate me. The director is not fibbing to the court for once. He confirmed he has an alibi for the time specified. So you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 a.m.? And then you arrived at the lounge after that? It's definitely the silhouette of her. So long as he has an alibi, we can't very well claim Director Cosmos was the killer. No, we can't. Then again, maybe we don't need to yet. I wonder if he was really covering for Mr. Starbuck. Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please. So I tried to enter the lounge with the true killer inside fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot. When I tried to take another look, they had vanished into thin air. It's near the elevator side door, and well, the launch pad 1 door and the control room door should have been shut tight for the killer. So you were shot by the killer as well? Then they disappeared? Unfortunately, the bullet hit Turner's oxygen tank. I know because I heard a pang. That must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured. Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal. That was the detective's bullet. So let's see. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Terran and his killer, the culprit shot a 10 caliber bullet at him. Right. But it actually hit Mr. Terran's oxygen tank and ruptured it. And then the killer disappeared and the director went into the boarding lounge. And when the detective caught up and fired those warning shots at him, judging by his medal, it looks like one of them almost took him out too. You gotta see something. There is a bullet hole in it, inside that metal. Good summary, but that doesn't explain where our mystery killer went. Director Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on where and when the figure disappeared. Peep back into the lounge. The real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate. And when I found one, it was turned with a knife in his chest and Starbuck out cold on the floor. However, culprit who vanished from a scene and no escaper. Vanished without a trace. It's really like one of those great mysteries of the cosmos.
Silence!
I'd rather know how a fibbing leech like you can be lauded as great. Well, that might be the first true statement he said all day. How do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly? When he was spotted by the director and Aura, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. I don't buy it. That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit. I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter evidence. Director Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor? I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room. That wasn't exactly helpful. I can't find any holes in this testimony, but I can't give up. Very well, Athena. Huh? While the director was giving his testimony, I detected a cacophony of discord. Which means he's hiding his true feelings from us. This just might help us find out what really happened to our vanished killer. Alright. Let's begin. Yuri Cosmos, prepare to hand over the secrets of your heart to me. Let's begin. starting the mood matrix. Let's see. So I try to enter the lounge. True killer inside. Probably gonna be. Buying it.
Got it!
Got it. Must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air. And yet, at that time, you barely registered any shock at the occurrence. I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea of where they went. Isn't that right? Sitting right there. There's nowhere for the killer to run to. Maybe or maybe not. He went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Terran, yes? What if the culprit took the opportunity to silently slip through the southern door? Rushing towards it herself via the southern hallway. And yet the director wasn't surprised the killer vanished. So you're absolutely sure that there was no escape route for the culprit to use? There's to be one more motion that's at odds with his testimony. Back in the Matrix it is. Time to pinpoint our way to victory. Uh-uh. I'm not buying it. Got it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the launch pad door, Director Cosmos. Whether I have any basis or not, you seem to be distressed by it. Director Cosmos. There's something about the launch pad door you're not telling us, isn't there? Thank you, Athena. Now to make sense of what we've learned. Director Cosmos wasn't surprised that the culprit suddenly vanished from the lounge, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launch pad made him uneasy. In other words, he's probably hiding something about the launch pad 1 door. When we put these two pieces together, only one solution to this puzzle comes to mind.
Take that!
The culprit went through the launch pad 1 door to escape, didn't they? master tactician, you are not. True, but it's still the only logical answer there is. If we can figure out what the director is hiding about the Launchpad 1 door, we should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies. Only Starbuck, Terran, and I have access. That's an easy one. The killer is right there in the boarding lounge, meaning it's a way you could have easily gotten past that security lock. Come to think of it, we did examine the prints on the fingerprint recognition device. I propose that the killer uses this person's fingerprints to get past the security lock. Bingo. Gotcha.
Take that!
Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the boarding lounge. Anybody could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbuck's prints. And actually, Mr. Starbuck's prints are exactly what we found on the device's screen. Looks like he does have something to hide about the Launchpad 1 door. And I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route. But I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet. Yes, Your Honor? Yes. Yes, by all means. Yes, there is a security camera. Right. The one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor? The true culprit escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor. That might have been recorded on the security footage as well. That's very true. However, the rest of the data was completely lost. He does have a point, but the remaining data was lost. And I'm thinking somebody deleted it. We play the security footage beyond this point. The footage cuts off. Exactly. The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged. Most likely by the after effects of the explosion. There's no footage after this, be it of criminals or space aliens. It was a good idea, but unfortunately the footage cuts off. Setting aside this issue, I'd like to have the witness continue. Director Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you entered the lounge? I'm not buying it. Got it. Director Cosmos, why were you so surprised when Detective Army found you? And again, when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural? So even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings. Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and emotions. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion. Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather what you were surprised by. First, you were surprised when the detective found you in the lounge. And then, just after that, you were, of course, again surprised when she shot at you. But considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprise reaction is the fact that you were... Sure, you were surprised when Detective Army shot at you, but the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was even greater. The fact that you were more surprised by being simply being found than by being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there. Please tell me I finally sunk his battleship. He really is hiding something about that launch pad door. And whatever he's hiding will most likely have something to do with the killer's escape. Wonder what it could be. If he was doing something suspicious around that door, maybe we could spot some change between before he came to the room and after. Detective Fulbright gave us a photo taken after the crime. Let's run a comparison. Let's see. This is the footage of the door before Director Cosmos arrived. And this is how the door looked after the director entered the lounge. Hey, look at that. This is a change. Something's definitely different. Director Cosmos. Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Army found you, that's what. And that answer was clearly in this footage. All we have to do is compare it to the photo that was taken during the investigation. He's asking for it. This is what changed directly after the incident. Wait a sec. Gotcha. Well, you're going down for this one, Director Cosmos.
Take that!
The answer is this knob. Your Honor, please take a look at this footage. Take a look at the knob next to the launch pad door. As you can see, it's horizontal. However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical. It means that sometime before the director arrives and after, somebody turned this knob. After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned that knob. Come on now, Director Cosmos, let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by turning the knob by the door? Knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there'd be more explosions. You wanted to move the launch pad away. You wanted to do what? Didn't Paco tell us how to prepare for launch? She said that once the launch pad is fully assembled, it moves to the launch site. But the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first. Yes, that clears up what that knob is for. So if the killer escaped into the launch pad 1 corridor, maybe they were transported along with the launch pad to the launch site. I don't think so. The launch pad 1 corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through the corridor. I guess there are still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, I request that you tell us about moving the launch pad in more detail. It's your making testimony. The director seems driven into a corner now. Until he's having a hard time hiding his true feelings. Just one final push then. His attempts to conceal the truth shouldn't be all that hard for us to break through. If we keep at it calmly, I'm sure it will cross the finish line. Disengage the safety lock. Got it. I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You make it sound like you're reluctant to do so. And yet when you did it, you felt some joy, as if you were pleased with yourself. Pretty impressive, isn't it? That's the power of an analytical psychology. So care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged your safety lock? When I think back on the facts we've discovered up to this point, I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda. He's a more or less a pro at guessing. One moment, everyone. Sure about that, Director Cosmos? I know they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake.
Silence!
You, a man of integrity? Don't make me laugh. Prosecutor Blackwell? What came over him all of a sudden? Greatest barefaced lie in honor. His words bite harder than his blade. You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions? My, how naive you are. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. You know? Just a thought, but modern English can be your friend. Launchpad 1 was in the boarding lounge. One side. The police confirmed this on scene. What? The director didn't move the launch pad?
Objection!
Objection, Your Honor. But it doesn't make any sense. You can't deny that someone turned that knob. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure the pad must have went somewhere. If we chase down the truth of this issue, we just might find where the killer escaped to. And just who the killer actually is. Which that I already think I know. Conjecture, you say, Prosecutor Blackwell? I think not. I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. The knob was definitely turned after he came to the lounge. But the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Wait a minute. Maybe I have it all backwards. What if the director turned the knob and moved the launch pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be? What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the incident? Then, after the incident, Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot. All you had to do was turn the knob to call the launch pad back. And it'll be right where the police found it. Was what I said really that off base? What? Indeed, the pad existed beyond the lounge when our Astro Wonders made their escape. The fact that it's been recorded for posterity on film was filmed. Yes, I know that, Prosecutor Blackwell. So, to reiterate, stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is. Yes, I know that, Prosecutor Blackwell. Our deductions and the actual facts of the case are in direct contradiction to each other. This footage could be fake, taken with body doubles after the incident or something. It's too far-fetched. Never actually there you go. Never actually boarded the rocket. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe, just maybe. Prosecutor Blackwell, what if I told you that the two astronauts never set foot inside the launch pad area, but instead went into another place? And what if the director moved the launch pad 1 back? It was not from the launch site, but from another place. What would you say then? Gladly, Your Honor. I know I'm right. It was all the other way around from the beginning. Very well, Your Honor. Let me explain. Director Cosmos' reason for moving Launchpad 1 was... because he wanted to switch it with some other place. Oh, you'd be surprised, Your Honor. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box, and the answer becomes clear as day. This is what was switched with Launchpad 1. The Space Museum. Bingo. The rocket in the Space Museum is a replica. It's not the real thing.
Take that!
Exactly. In the past, the Space Museum used to be Launchpad 2. It has all the same features as Launchpad 1 and can even be moved to the launch site. Meaning, the Space Museum and Launchpad 1 could also be switched with each other. The rocket the astronauts boarded was not the one in Launchpad 1. It was the one in the Space Museum. And yet, it's the only explanation that accounts for every riddle and inconsistency. That's how the Space Center was just before the incident. I see Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum have already switched places. That's right. And with the two switched like this, the astronauts entered the Space Museum from Borderland Lounge 1. This allowed the true killer to enter Launchpad 1 from Border Lounge 2. And set the bomb on the rocket. Exactly. Anyone could pass through the door to the Space Museum. There is no fingerprint recognition system on that door. In other words, with the two launch pads switched like that, someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted that bomb. And to save the bomb on the rocket, the culprit snuck into Border Lounge 1 and waited there, concealed, in order to kill Mr. Terran when the two astronauts emerged from the Space Museum. Recall that Miss Blackquill, Mr. Starbuck, and the director all saw a suspicious figure, who we could suppose, after killing Mr. Terran, made their escape into the Space Museum. After that, Director Cosmo switched the two launch pads back without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum. The killer then left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway. I'm a seasoned warrior who has cut down many a prosecutor.
Silence!
Oh, I'll be glad to do so, Prosecutor Blackquill. I'll be glad to prove my theory. Somebody needs a better anger management counselor. At this point, Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum were switched with each other. So the corridor beyond the door should be the one that belongs to the Space Museum. Huh? The number on the floor. Wait a sec. Well, what do you know? It looks like we have proof after all, Prosecutor Blackwell. Oh, don't worry, it's all right here. Right in this footage. Proof that beyond this door is the corridor to the Space Museum. Very well, Your Honor. What in this footage proves that the corridor belongs to the Space Museum? Right there, that number. It's 2. Gotcha.
Take that!
Right there. There's a 1 on the floor of the Launchpad 1 corridor. But take a look at the floor on the corridor in the security footage. Do you see the number on the floor beyond the behind the astronauts? Doesn't look like a 1, does it? That's because what you see is actually part of a 2. Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That's because the corridor you see is the 1 to the Space Museum. So that means the corridor on the footage was not filled with smoke. That's right, because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in Launchpad 1 on the side opposite to the Space Museum. And now that we know that 2 astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial of how they got down the ladder is cleared up. Mr. Terran, carrying Mr. Starbuck, simply took the elevator from the upper level down to the middle level. Everyone was down at the basement shelter when the launch pads were swapped back. There's no way anyone could have known what was happening on the surface. Gotcha! No more lies, Director Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth. I see we managed to retrieve you before you came to any bodily harm, Director Cosmos. Director Cosmos, do you admit you switched the launch pads? It's good to hear words I can believe for a change. Before you do, Your Honor, two things. First, we don't know if Mr. Terran had prior knowledge of the switch. As for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to his medication. Either way, Mr. Terran would have realized the instant he stepped into the Space Museum that it had been switched with Launchpad 1. My first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Terran feel the need to put on such a dramatic display? As my second question, I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the two launch pads to begin with. He can't or he won't. That's what I would like to know. He must have one hell of a reason for not wanting to explain why. Probably not a good time to try to pry it out of him, huh? It appears a possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say? I don't get it. What do we get? Director, why did you do all that? From the very beginning, you never meant for the launch to go ahead, did you? You tricked us. The budget cuts. That's gotta be it.
Silence!
Sure about that, Prosecutor Blackwell? That is a good point. think so. Detective Fulbright. Why are you here again, Detective Fulbright? I don't have any idea what you're talking about, Detective Fulbright. You did say some point there, Athena. You did say something about finding us some evidence. I didn't think you were serious, though. So what is it, Detective? Is it something that will prove Mr. Starbuck's innocence? What the hell? That's the Earth emblem. That is indeed a lighter. A lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. The Space Museum's cleaning robot picked it up. It has the victim, Clay Terrence's blood, along with his killer's fingerprints on it. Detective Fulbright, can I assume that the fingerprints do not belong to the defendant? This is it. This is just what I needed. There it is. The lighter found on the floor of the Space Museum. The true culprit's fingerprints are on it and their victim's blood. Your Honor, this is decisive evidence that supports the defense's earlier claim. Gladly, Your Honor. With pleasure. Recall where the lighter was found. Based on that, we can extrapolate that after the killer murdered Miss Terran, they escaped with the lighter in hand into the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the two launch pads occurred. Then finally, the killer left through the boarding lounge 2 and made their escape. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found in boarding lounge 1 after the murder. A fact that Director Cosmos has testified to. Therefore, Mr. Starbuck couldn't have possibly been the one to drop the lighter there.
Silence! Objection!
Objection, Your Honor. You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you, Prosecutor Blackwell? Well, Director Cosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with a lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Mr. Starbuck wouldn't have the time to double back to the museum. No, Prosecutor Blackwell. This lighter could have only been dropped by the real killer. Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingerprints were nowhere to be found on this lighter. I think you understand what this means, don't you? This piece of evidence proves that Mr. Starbuck was not the culprit. As for the remote switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, we can assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck.
Silence!
So he's hiding something. I'd like to know what that is. Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to say the defendant is innocent. In light of the fact that it was impossible for him to have committed the crime, a few unanswered questions still remain, however, so I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, this court finds the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, not guilty. Looks like we pulled it off somehow. With some help from Detective Fulbright. Indeed. That's gonna have to wait. Court is adjourned.
Objection!
What? What? Are you dissatisfied with the verdict, Prosecutor Blackwell? Detective Fulbright, what were the results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter? Prosecutor Blackwell, can you read out who the prints belong to? Whose prints they are? Upon thorough analysis, the fingerprints were found to belong to it. What? Athena Sykes? You gotta be kidding me! What? That's impossible. This can't be happening. We built up our argument piece by piece. And I don't think any of our reasoning was faulty. So how could it have led to this? Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all we fought for, the truth had turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. We had stumbled over the edge of reason and into the jaws of a twisted darkness. What? Everyone, I'm done for today. Before I go, there's one thing I should mention. The next case is actually what actually caused Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies to actually get an M from Mature rating. It is called Turnabout for Tomorrow. And that's actually what we're going to be doing tomorrow. We're going to get started on that. As for what happens, you'll have to find that out tomorrow. I will say this, though. It's going to be absolutely disturbing. That's all I'm going to say for now. Until next time, everyone, this has been a Sailor Terror of Death 99, aka the Black Cobra. And I will catch you all tomorrow. Hope you don't get sick because of this next case, though. Till next time, sayonara.